So, analysis of tax return for financial planning opportunities. And when I tell you this is going to be very, very, very fundamental, again, this is real high level. There'll be some detailed information in here, but I'm going to keep it very simple, real high level, and hopefully this will invoke some questions for everyone to reach out to us for. Again, invoke some questions, possibly spark a thought in your current situation, and and see how we can be of assistance, or even your current CPA or accounting firm can be of further assistance to you. So keep in mind, from a non-accounting perspective, there's a lot that goes into tax returns. Even simple return is a simple return, right? And there's different levels of obviously taxes, right? But keep in mind that there's still time that's put in, analysis that is put in order to get the best outcome for clients, right? So it's important that when you're planning or you receive suggestions from your financial advisor, that you have an open mind, and as well as do some implementation. I think that's really really a point where we don't you know we fall short most times, is implementation. Sometimes it's just out of sheer ignorance, meaning not knowing. It's out of comparing your situation to other situations, and it's not necessarily the same. It may seem the same, but it's not. And fear as well, right? Maybe you owe money. Maybe you're in a higher tax bracket and you have to pay more money, right? And that's fearful, because um, you may not have it to cut a big check at the moment. So the question becomes, how do I better utilize my resources? How do I better utilize the information that is provided to me from a tax professional to propel me forward, and that way I can maintain and stay consistent. Okay. So here's the contents of what this information breeds. And these are things that we have to consistently, I say we, I mean CPAs, accountants, consistently have to go through. It's a process, it's a certification. These things are compliance, all of the above. This is not pick up, do taxes one time of the year or two times of the year, just inputting information. Any tax professional, if you really, really ask important questions, and questions that can align properly, you'll find they may not give you how it's made, how the sausage is made per se, but these are some high level, some of the things that is attributed to preparing and planning. Okay. So demographics, dependents, and filing status. Again, high level. We're all familiar with that. Where do you live? How many kids do you have? Right? Kids, dogs, cats, birds, snakes. Little joke there. And filing status, right? Single, married, so on and so forth. And here are some of the questions that come up under that category, right? What is the client's filing status? Does the client have dependents? Does the client have basic estate planning documents prepared? That's a big to do, right? Has the client considered gift and estate planning opportunities for his or her dependents, right? Does the occupation indicate special coverage needs, such as adequate disability insurance for a surgeon? And then recommend a global beneficiary designation check, right? So on the content page, I'm not going to go through all of these. I just wanted to share with you what is within this PDF of information that I'll be sharing here today. And we'll go through a little bit more of an expansion under each section here, right? So again, if there's any particular questions, please feel free to drop them in the box, okay? Or write them down and send it to us afterward, okay? Now, first section, Demographics, dependence, and filing status, right? So we talked about what's the client's filing status. So when you're in planning phase, we're in planning phase, right? Planning and preparing. They kind of, work together, and they can work independently as well. But consider running married filing jointly versus married filing separately analysis for a possible lower tax result. So that's a common knowledge point for most people, right? But the question is, are you actually doing it, or are you waiting till the last minute, or actually are you planning to shift from filing um, separately or jointly, or vice versa, right? So again, having a plan, having what your goals are, is very important for any financial professional to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve, right? Because tax planning, tax management of taxes is not really a one-off thing. It is very consistent. It is very consistent, and things change, right? Um, things definitely change. So consider that. Is the client divorced? If so, consider filing status and dependency exemptions. Does the client have dependents? Review dependency rules if parents are being claimed to confirm eligibility. These sections I'm reading off are things that most people have a good idea about, right? It's kind of the start of it all. Okay. Um, Review dependency rules to consider if any child is eligible to claim themselves, right? Consider income shifting to take advantage of the children's lower tax rates. Consider Kiddie tax implications. Review current and future cash flow analysis with respect to expenses of children and elderly parents. Consider full analysis to include retirement and estate planning. Hmm. Retirement and estate planning. How many of us have a retirement and estate planning plan? I'll wait. Right? So, again, part of the tax planning analysis and implementation for which you like your future to look like financially, right? Um, Discuss the future financial commitment of this care with the client. Do the number and ages of dependents indicate that income continuation needs are likely to be high? Discuss advanced child tax credit payments and the pros and the cons of opting out. So again, most people are familiar with the child tax credits, right? Because you get um, quite a few bucks back for when you're claiming your children, right? So, does the client have the basic estate planning documents prepared? Inquire with the client to determine if they have a will, durable power of attorney, advanced medical directive, living will, relevant trust, etc. This is a big doozy here. Right? This is important. This is extremely overlooked. Some people prepare, most people don't. Um, Durable power of attorney. So I want you guys to write that down. Durable power of attorney. So Google durable power of attorney. Understand what that means. Okay. If you don't have any estate planning documents in place, again, there's nothing wrong with asking the questions. Have a consultation. Figure out what is estate planning. What does that actually look like? How much is that going to cost you? What all goes into estate planning? Very important, right? Do you have a will? Does your parents have a will? So on and so